Germany, the most culturally immense nation in Europe, 19th century, 18th century. How can a nation of that kind also
Evil.
participate in Auschwitz? Yeah. Because I thought my whole life that Bach makes you a better person, but
Huh.
apparently maybe not. And there's an incredible video on YouTube, and it's still up there, of Hitler's birthday. And Fritz Wagner is conducting the Berlin Ville, and they're playing Beethoven's Nine, Ode to Joy.
Wow.
And all of the Nazis that they're showing videos, they're showing pictures of Heydrich, of Goebbels, of Hitler, of Goering. All of them are just sitting in the crowd. They're listening. They have no excuse. It's in German. It's Schiller. They know this line, and it's talk about the brotherhood of man. They're sitting there listening to it, and it's like
It's correct.
crickets.
Yeah.
Or maybe not. So I don't know. It's been a lot. That one, once I kind of comprehended that music supposed to make you a better person, but does it make you a better person? Like great music, like Mozart. So I don't know. I can't fix that.
I think music is good or neutral, and then humans can use good things for evil, and they regularly do this. Especially smart people who can convince themselves of anything, and then you add on good people doing nothing, convenience. But mostly, I think you must know smart people who can convince themselves of dumb things because they make such a good argument to themselves.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. So, it's yeah. I guess. Well, Plato has this. He says that art is, like you're saying, art doesn't necessarily make you better. It could make you worse.
You can use art to make propaganda.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can use art to make political ads that make someone look good when they're evil.
Yeah, but
Art is a weapon.
That's interesting because I think, but once art becomes propaganda, I think it ceases to be art.
I think art is in the eye of the beholder.
Okay.
And I think when politicians use art for their own means, they're not seeing it as art. So I think in that sense, you're right.
Okay. For example, do you think that, say, the stuff that Shostakovich had to write, or else he was gonna get killed, like the movies, the horrible propaganda movies about Stalin, about how he's like the greatest thing since Christ, even though they hated Christ, but I almost don't view that as, I mean, maybe I view it as art, but it's just very bad art.
So he was composing, obviously.
Composing propaganda.
Okay, so if you played a recording of that for someone who didn't know the story, could they enjoy it? Could they have it in their headphones when they're walking? And then could they tie that into a memory from their life and then be nostalgic toward it? Does it 50 years in the future?
Absolutely.
Then it's art.
Good point. Good. Okay, we solved that.
Well, I think we figured it out.
Good. Let's go. Thanks for clearing it. You helped me that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think art is just supposed to make you have a reaction to it, good or bad. And then that clarifies what you think about the world. So it can be bad propaganda, whatever, but then your response is useful information to you.
Okay. But then are you reading into things that are not there?
We do that in art all the time. We have to write essays on the Great Gatsby and 12 essays about the green light. Like, we have no idea if it was just a green light. That's all.
It's a good light, though.
It is a good light.
So we beat on.
Yeah. Boats rowing against the tide.
Yeah. So it's no, that makes sense. There was a
I think you just got owned by facts and logic.
No, I loved it. This is one of my favorite things is I had the pleasure of talking to a very good friend of mine. She just graduated from Northwestern. She's not in Bienen. I went to Norris once with her, and we just talked about, we both gave our philosophical takes or like political takes or whatever, and it was it was a safe space for me and for her to say any crazy thing we had on our minds, like ranging from things I can't even say, or also, there's potential of everyone getting canceled in this entire building, but
which is just us,
I guess, at this point. But yeah, but it's the best thing, I think, talking to another person and trying to get at things and battle intellectually and have it be very cordial at the same time is the best. And there's nothing more that I mean, it's nice to be right, but I love being wrong too because this kind of proves to be like it's like
Not in the moment though.
I don't know. Hey, actually, even in the moment,
Wow.
I don't even like it's fun because it's it's not a if you really love the intellectual life of literature, of philosophy, art, and the goal is again we're going back to it. The goal is the journey. The goal is
Yes.
how do you get there? And so I don't. I mean, if my teacher tells me you're doing this wrong, do it this way, and then I do it, and then it helps it. No, oh, great, thank
Yeah.
you. I'm not embarrassed
You learn
about it. Yeah,
the next day. I think the goal of this or the memo of this whole conversation is just get in the mud, go on an adventure, mess things up, and
absolutely.
then you'll come through on the other side.
Yeah, absolutely. I think was the what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Kelly Clarkson.
Yeah, Kelly Clarkson and Friedrich Nietzsche both had the same mind there.
Yeah.
Uh, it's
And they were
there.
both great singers.
But yeah, Nietzsche I heard
Oh
was
no.
like the best.
I'm just making stuff.
No, I know. He sang to his horse once, but they thought he was crazy. He had a nervous breakdown one day. Not a good day for him, I
The
guess.
Nazis still thought it was a great performance.
Yeah, that was most of that was his evil sister.
Oh,
Oh, she was the worst.
so much lore.
Oh my gosh, she was the worst. She created out of, I mean, Nietzsche's thought was used by the Nazis in a very smart way. And but definitely wasn't a Nazi himself. I mean, the Nazi party didn't exist. And the same thing, that's this, I mean, that's part of a Wagner. Grandma to this point can't not. It's funny, we just talked about this, about propaganda, and if you don't know the music context, how do you respond to it? My grandma cannot listen to Wagner, cannot. And she's a Russian Jew.
Tell her it's a banger though.
It is, and she knows. And she's like, oh, it's great music. But every time I play her Wagner, and she knows it's Wagner, then she feels like a almost a physical revulsion to it, and and sometimes I play a trick on her, and I play her a part from something that I know she doesn't know, like a third act of the Meistersinger. There's no chance she knows this part, but it's beautiful. And I play for her, and she's one of the quickest people to tears on planet Earth. I remember every time I would play for her on the violin, she it wasn't that good that it warranted crying every time, but she would cry every time, and then she's like, "Oh, I remember my mom would play violin for me and stuff." And so I would play this part from Wagner, and she would start weeping, and she's like, "Oh, it's so beautiful. Who is it?" And I was like, Rachmaninoff. So
Okay.
not to ruin her experience of it, but if I said Wagner, I mean the tears would go away, and
Oh,
it
that's just
happened.
so cruel.
But yeah, it's interesting because yeah, we experience life. I mean, I remember there was a friend who came to our house once, friend of my dad's, and I was like, yeah, I was like 15 or something, and I was already getting very into music, and I was like, all these composers were already my friends. I read up some of it, so I was like, I was defending every single one of them.
The
Uh,
dead composers were your friends?
Absolutely, yeah,
Okay.
every single one of them. I had a hard time getting to know Mahler, but he was a great guy too. But all of them, and at some point, so I had to defend Wagner a lot at my house because of obvious reasons. And except for my mom and I bond over our love of Wagner. But so he came to the house and he started giving takes. It's my favorite thing that people do. Is just like start giving their unsolicited advice and takes on everything. Uh, and he said like, "Oh, I think Wagner is just the worst. His music will make you into a worse person." And I was like, and then I got so mad as I was like a 15-year-old. I was like, I don't even know what I was saying. I was just like spewing words that made no sense. It's just words, 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 as Hamlet says. And then, um, but then he was so adamant about Wagner making you worse as a human being. But then I don't know. I don't think that's the case. I mean, clearly it's not the case that music makes you specifically into a better person, like we talked about. But it's also not the case that it can make you into a bad person.
Can you steelman it?
Can I Steelman? Oh, absolutely. I can try.
Do it.
Let's see. Wagner was operating from a place of immense hatred towards the Jews. And so, for example, in the Ring Cycle, Albrecht, the main little dwarf who was the evil guy, he's clearly his description, and Wagner wrote the entire thing from the libretto to every single note, to every single producing direction. Um, Albrecht is a clear depiction of a Jew, caricature of a Jew. And, he loves money, he has a big nose, he's short, and he's evil, and, he has all these sayings, and some of his tunes also have like almost a klezmer sound to them, so it's like a clear depiction of how Jews are bad. And then there's Parsifal has similar things, Siegfried, Mime, so Albrecht's friend. All of them are a depiction of Jews being bad. So if you're operating from a place of hatred and you're writing art in order to um, propagate your ideas about a certain group of people, potentially if someone's listening to the Ring Cycle, they might view all Jews. Oh, so this is what Jews are like. Okay, great.
So it's subtle enough that it creeps into your psyche.
It could.
And then also the person composing is competent enough to make beautiful music. So how could a person like this be so wrong? Maybe they're right. Like
Exactly.
just a little bit.
And that's what the Nazis did. I mean, they incredible job at it, obviously. I mean, in a bad way. But they did an incredible job. I mean, from the 30s, Hitler had all these books made for the kids to read, in math equations, like Franz, would be like something like Isaac steals 2 apples from Franz. How many apples does Franz have now? So it's like it's a little thingy there. It's like if you're subtle enough.
Isaac would do that.
Isaac would totally do that, especially if his last name is Drobinovich or something like that. And then,
I gotta be careful what I say. My last name's Geist.
Yeah.
Condemn. Bad. It's all bad.
But yeah, no, absolutely. Then, yeah, and so that's why they used Wagner. I mean, his stuff was subtle enough that if you don't see it, you can't. So Steelmanning, you can do it. But I don't think it's the music. I think it's the characters and it's the libretto more than the music. I mean, the klezmer stuff in it is just a depiction of what a Jews sound like, but it wouldn't make you a bad person unless you give into it and you live it out.
Mm-hmm. The music is just sound. It's just waves.
Yeah.
The rest is the human junk that we add to it.
Human junk, I like.
Yeah.
But would you steal men in a similar way, or you go another route?
I think in the same way, where you respect the composer and they've made something so beautiful that you want to give them the time of day to consider their other opinions. And then art, especially with words, can be very good at manipulating little biases the audience already has and having you be invested in this character. But it can't be too obvious that there's clearly a bad character and a good character. When you show the flaws and the good sides of someone, then it's like a real person. And then when you turn them against them, it's like, oh, well, I'm a good audience member who's considered all the complex parts of this person. I'm not being biased anymore. I just see the way it is. But I agree with you. I can't imagine music by itself without the words, without the visuals doing that.
Yeah, abstract music, it's impossible.
Yeah.
Almost, unless you give into it.
Yeah. Thank you for watching The Practice Room. Please remember to like, subscribe, and comment. Also, contact me on Instagram or my website if you would like to be a guest or would like to suggest a guest. Links in the description. Thank you.